thanks for coming down.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Lucas. Thanks very much for coming down to the Mayfly shop. This is it. This is where I make all my stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool to be here, man, and it's a momentous occasion, I've got to say.
Absolutely.
Because we're here to talk about something very special today. This is number one. This is the first official, the Habanero, which is my signature pedal with Mayfly, man.
This is over a year in the making, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you sent me an email, I guess about a year ago, and you said, basically, hey, are you ever interested in signature gear? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, do I want to buy a Stevie Ray Vaughan model Strat or like I don't know? And I was like, yeah, like sure. And then you were like, yeah, well, like think about what it would be. And I'm like, oh, so I realized what you were saying was a signature piece of gear with my own name on it. So I started brainstorming and thinking about things. I thought about something that for me would solve a problem as a guitar player. Like as guitar players, we need gain stages, electric guitar players. One thing is that like, you got your rhythm tone and then you want to get louder for the solo. You always have to be louder. And so that's one thing. So a boost for me is really practical. But then guitar players, we can't just settle on a boost. We need more. We always need more. So that's where fuzz comes into the equation. So to me, fuzz is like overdrive, but just more. I pitched this idea to you, and then you started brainstorming and thinking about what it could be. First, we prototyped just the overdrive sound, which in itself is amazing, the boost sound itself. And then, we talked about the fuzz, and now we have this incredible box. Like, why don't you talk a little bit about what goes into this thing?
Oh, absolutely. So the most important ingredient in any pedal really is your ears.
Right.
And I was very fortunate in this case to be using your ears instead of mine. And
your ears are great too, Trevor.
I do my best. But the next thing is having a goal in mind of what the problems or issues you want to solve. And with this one, you wanted something expressive enough to control with the volume control of the guitar. So not only did the sounds have to clean up, but the tone, if it did change at all, it had to change in the right way. And especially putting that into the context of a full band, of a full ensemble, you want, when you roll off the volume, you want the overall harmonic content to get a little brighter so that you can cut through with a rhythm guitar type.
For me, I used to use a volume pedal all the time, and then I realized it was sucking my tone. And around 2021, I ditched the volume pedal and I started really using my volume control on my guitar and the tone controls, and now I'm always on them all the time. And I think it's just part of maturing as a guitar player, kind of getting into that headspace. This pedal, you really nailed it because it does all those things. There's so many colors, so many tones. One thing I love about even the boost side is that you can roll back the volume control on your guitar and it cleans up without getting muddy, which is great.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter whether you have a treble bleed in your guitar or not or whatever. It's going to stay clear. And the fuzz does that, but it does even more than that. Like it gets beautifully sparkly when you roll down your volume control.
Yeah. The harmonics stay there.
The cool thing is there's this deep switch on this pedal.
Yeah, right here.
Which we worked really hard on, yeah. And the cool thing about that is that, so if you have that deep switch to the left, it can almost get into like this kind of big muffy type thing, and it's fat, it's really, really fat. But then you roll back your volume control on your guitar to like 8, and it sounds more like a boost at that point. You roll it down and it's like crystal clean and really lean in a nice way. It's amazing the tonal change when you roll back your volume control with that deep switch in the fat mode. Now, if you play a humbucker guitar, or if you're someone who doesn't like to really use your volume control, if you like to always have everything at 10, then you can turn that switch to the right, and it's just the perfect amount of low end. It cuts out the really woofy signals that you might have, on the other mode. and it brings them down to I guess what I would say is like a perfect amount if you want to always play with your volume control on 10. I like it in both positions. Like we worked really hard on that together. We got together and worked on that. And then you got that tone control where you're shaping the sound, which is really, really cool. And it kind of like bumps up the mid-range almost, you know? It's really interesting.
Collaborative efforts like this, it's always something better than you could do on your own. I always trust your judgment. Whenever you come to me and say, you know what? Don't do it like that, do it like this.
Right.
And here's the reason why. It's like, you got it. And it always works out really well.
So let's not neglect the boost side. The boost side is also very cool because it's based on, kind of based on the open window, right? Which I love.
Yeah, it's a bit different. That was the starting point, but we really kind of went in a slightly different direction.
Yeah.
It's definitely got less gain than an open window, but it's got, how do I put this? It's more controllable. Mm-hmm. It's more controllable. You have, especially, it's not just your volume control. You can control it with your picking hand as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got controls on that side for the treble and the bass, as well as the gain and the volume. So it's everything you need. It's also really practical because if you don't have another overdrive pedal, you could just use that side still as your overdrive sound. It's got enough gain that you could do that. I usually use it as kind of a clean boost or as an edge of breakup kind of boost because I like that. You know, you could just go on stage with this and it would be perfect. And that's the thing I love about it. You know, you could go to an open jam or wherever you're going to go, host a blues jam, host any kind of music jam, bring your guitar, bring your favorite amp of choice, and you've really got a huge plethora of tones within this box right here, man.
There's one thing we haven't told people yet, though.
Oh.
With this guy, you can have it set either as an A/B or as a stackable pedal, and there's dip switches inside the back of it to allow you to do that. And you have it as A/B, right?
I have it as A/B. For me on stage, like I can hardly see what I'm doing at the best of times, but when I'm in front of a microphone and I'm looking forward, I'm just guessing what I'm doing with my feet, right? So like I'll kick the wrong pedal on, I'll do all kinds of stuff. For me, the A/B thing, where one switch turns the pedal on and off and the other switch toggles between modes, that's perfect for me. For me, that's perfect. Cool, and I got to say, thanks to my daughter Kensley for coming up with the idea of the fire-breathing habanero pepper. I think it's really cool. You know, for those of you who don't know, I am a hot sauce obsessed person. I do love spicy food. So this is just perfect for me. Like, I mean, I'm so, it's just like, it couldn't be better. Why don't you tell people about where they can find this pedal, Trevor?
Oh, sure. So definitely buy from my dealers. Those guys have supported me from the very, very beginning, and they're all great guys, so buy from them. There's Steve's Music, there's Lozon Music, there's Spaceman, there's Cicada Sound. In Toronto, it's the 12th fret. In Kitchener-Waterloo, it's the Guitar Corner. And out west, it's the Acoustic Music Store in Edmonton, Alberta.
Even if you're in Europe or the States or anywhere in the world, because I know there's people who watch this channel from all over the world, you know, these dealers will ship all over the world. So, you know, you've got a way to get one of these things in your hands, and you should. Because as I say, to me, this was a problem solver as a guitar player, but it's a really exciting problem solver, and it sounds fantastic. Trevor, how many pedals do you have on the market now?
My product line is something like 14 pedals, including this one.
Wow.
Something like that.
And you've done all that just in a few years, a few short years, which is amazing.
I love it. It combines the technical side with your artistic side, and just being able to make really, really good tools, something that you can express yourself with.
It's amazing, man. It's been so much fun to be a part of the prototyping process with this pedal and other ones, and it's just like, you know, between this pedal and your new pedal, the amp simulator called the Sunrise, I mean, you've just stepped it up, you know, in a way which is just incredible. And to start, your pedals were already amazing, and now it's just coming to a new level. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to work on this with you, man. It's so much fun. And guys, check out one of these pedals for sure.